So it is a season of songs and a season of joy, but I noticed this week that a lot of the Christmas songs out there contain some pretty questionable advice when it comes to joy. So for instance, if last Christmas you gave someone your heart and the very next day they gave it away, that does not mean that this year you should give it to somebody special. You should not give it to anyone. That is an important part of your circulatory system, and you need that. In a similar vein, no matter how much magic is in that old silk hat you found, do not allow a snowman to conduct a wedding service. That is not a legally binding union. And speaking of questionable relationship advice, if you give your loved one 184 birds for Christmas, expect to find yourself in my office for counseling faster than you can say, "Have a holly jolly Christmas." Don't get me started on "Baby, It's Cold Outside." I'm not even going there. Instead, let me offer this suggestion. Do not go seeking after joy. Do not go looking for joy. True joy is not something you can search for and find. It is not something you can buy and take home. And ironically, the search for joy will rob you of your joy. Because as you look for joy, you will think, oh, joy must be over there. I must need that, own that. I must be that, be like them, be with them. I must be prettier, skinnier, taller, smarter, better. I will feel joy when my kids behave and the world is not on fire and I finally am in control. But you will never discover joy that way.
Amen. Amen.
If you could, then joy incarnate, the Christ child we await this season, would have arrived in a place like Jerusalem or Rome, to wealthy merchants or a powerful emperor, to the wisest and most beautiful person of that age. Instead, joy arrived in the most unlikely and most ordinary of places.
Amen. Amen.
He was born to an unwed teenage mother, to a people crushed by a violent authoritarian regime, in a nothing part of a grand empire, the ancient Near East equivalent of a god being born out back of a Dollar General in Nowheresville, Georgia, to a mom who just got done dodging gangs in Bolivia and La Migra here in the United States. Do not go seeking after joy, because you will not find it, and trying so hard will make you miserable.
Amen.
Instead, seek to live fully this one beautiful life that God has granted you.
Amen.
Try to treat each and every second like a blessing from God. Open your eyes to see God's glory shining through in marvelous, small, ordinary moments, in laughter, in art, in nature, in good food, and yes, in music. If God can be found in Bethlehem, joy can be found anywhere, even on the connector at rush hour. No matter how ugly and scary the world may seem, especially right now, even though there are bills to pay and loved ones to care for, and they keep moving where things are in the grocery store. Even though there's all this stuff, joy can be found as long as you do not go seeking it, but instead hit pause on the cynicism and the despair and simply open yourself to the presence of God. That is when joy will find you. Joy will find you, for it is an abundant life, a life of joy that God wishes for you and that God comes to earth to share with you. And now, let us sing for joy.